Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Krishna.
Ram Hare Ram. Hare
Good.
Krishna.
Just an observation, please. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadhamaya Dadati Svapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Mukam Karoti Vacham Pungam Lankarati Kripatamaham Mantre Shri Guru Hare Krishna. We will continue discussion from yesterday. Go through text number 44. Nahobhata mahatpapam kartum yosita vayam yadrant sukalodena antum sujano udyataha. Here in this shloka, we are discussing about an important principle of selflessness and how this selflessness could be cultivated. Arjuna on one side, he doesn't want to fight. His intention is clear. Even though he's not stressing on the point that this is due to my family, he stresses that, but not directly. Arjuna is very clearly showing us a way. He's telling even selflessness, if it is tinged with an attachment to this particular world, no matter that selflessness can be epitome, can be the ultimate, but still that selflessness will not give right results. That means the principle of selflessness is no longer demarked or denoted as selflessness, because technically it is not selflessness. On one side it looks selflessness, but it is not. We were discussing this yesterday. When we think further about it, it is very clear that our perceptions, our thought process, our understanding, we cannot conclude that as everything. Shri Guru Charanarati Esya Uttamagati Jay Prasada Pure Sarva. Now here on the other side, Narottam Das Thakur is telling Shri Guru Charanarati Esya Uttamagati Jay Prasada Pure Sarva. That means even if I'm not in that selfless state, that state is not being mentioned here, but let's say even if you are not in the selfless state, but when we are taking the shelter, what is happening is Jay Prasada Pure Sarvasha. Very important. Because when we understand that this thing is the important aspect. That's what Arjuna is also mentioning in 43. Utsanakula dharmanam manushyanam janardana. Narake niyatam vasho bhavati anususrama. That means the knowledge, the family traditions, they are destroyed. I'm speaking it from the authorities only. Arjuna is very clearly telling that he is not presenting through his personal experience, but it is coming from an authorization. Yes, whoever doesn't follow dharma, it leads to degradation. That is fine. That means that covering the surface is totally alright. That means if I don't follow the principles of which is heard from the authorities, that will not lead to personal experience or anything in those lines. That means he's not explaining this from his own personal thing. It is coming from Guru Parampara only. Please understand, that means even which is coming from Guru Parampara, if we are not redirected, then that also leads to chaos. I'll give an example. Let's say you're doing aarti, and then the child is crying, or there is a guest who came. You're continuing to do the aarti, but you're not receiving the text. Or you're continuing to do the aarti, but you're not trying to turn towards the child and then see what's happening, what he reads. This is as per Shastra only. This is as per scriptures only. That yes, we should offer diya to the Lord with utmost sincerity. But here is a problem. So what should I do? Should I continue to offer the diya? The guest can, or the child is having a difficulty, or should I leave that and then come and then pacify the child? What should we do? If one person is telling, no, no, I should leave that and then serve the child. Okay, then what about Aarti? You disrespect him. What's going to happen for that? That means there's always conflict. That's from scriptures only. Scriptures are telling you should do. But here you have an instance where you have to take care of the child, which is important. Again, from the scriptures, Acharya is telling child is not important. It's time to give a clarity. That means you should put that aside to take care of the child. That is important. But there is always a conflict of interest. What should I do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Let's say you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is a devotee is coming. Well, do you stop chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra and then offer obeisances to the devotee? Or do you just ignore the devotee thinking that you are doing a higher service of chanting Hare Krishna because you're with the Lord? What should we do? Should we just ignore the devotee? If you're ignoring the devotee, then is that is that not giving disrespect to the devotee? Okay, let's say you are addressing the devotee, but you kept your chanting of Hare Krishna mantra aside. Is it not giving disrespect to the holy? So chanting of Hare Krishna mantra should be respected. The devotees, when Vaishnavas come, they should be respected. What should we do? What should we do in this case? So what am I telling is, both are in the scriptures only. But which one to choose when? Important, now we should know. That means time, place, circumstances we should know. Here Arjuna is quoting all this. Why are we discussing this? Arjuna is quoting all the scriptures here. He's telling that I am on the selfless plane. But who is confirming that he's on the selfless plane? He's telling I don't want to be selfish by taking the property and then killing, and then by killing them I'll get some simple reactions. I don't want to do that. Then proclaiming that he's telling that I want to be selfless. And I am selfless because I'm not fighting. And I am selfless because I'm not running behind the wealth. Now, who is confirming that he's selfless or who is confirming that he's selfish? Now, somebody should authorize this. We ourselves, can we proclaim anything? We cannot proclaim. There is a difference of opinion in to do which thing. Let's say you're chanting Hare Krishna. You have to offer obeisances to Vaishnava or you continue chanting Hare Krishna. Let's say you're honoring Prasad. Somebody calls you. Ray, you're honoring Prasad. Should I take the phone or should I honor the Prasad? It's different, no? That means, first of all, we need to understand, do we ever give respect to the Prasad? These are all from the scriptures. Do we ever give respect? Do we feel that this is the mercy of the Prasad means Prabhu Sakshat Darshan. What is that Prasad means? Prasad is Sarva Dukkhanam. That means all the material miseries or the problems will be removed simply by honoring Krishna Prasad. Prabhupada says if you just eat Krishna Prasad, chant Hare Krishna, keep your consciousness up to the mark, then you will go back home back to God. That means chant Hare Krishna, honoring Krishna Prasad means your consciousness will be uplifted. But do we have that attitude that this is the presence of the Lord, this is my master? If we have that, then we don't eat anything else other than that. If you're eating anything else other than that, means you're giving disrespect to Prasad. That means time plus circumstance, Prabhu, can I eat here? Can I eat there? Time plus circumstance, Prabhu, there's nothing here available. Time plus circumstances, I did not carry. Time plus circumstances, that's okay. Once in a while, if I go and eat in the restaurant, what's the problem? What's the big deal? Time plus circumstances. No, I cannot do time plus circumstances for that. If I do that, then I'll get reactions to that. Just like Arjuna is proclaiming here that if I kill my family members, I'll get reactions. Now, who is telling Arjuna that? He's telling again from the scriptures only. Oh, Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession. Please see here. It's very clearly telling. Kula Dharmanam. Anusustruma, Kula Dharmanam means the family traditions. Anusustruma means I heard this from the disciplic succession. From the authorities only I heard this. From the authorities only I heard, and then they are confirming that if I kill this personality, I'll get sinful reaction, which is absolutely right. Who said it is not right? Definitely we'll get sinful reactions. Arjuna is spot on. Now, if that is giving sinful reactions, then every Kshatriya should always be remain. He should eternally be in the hellish planets. Because Kshatriya means he has to fight. He has to fight means he has to kill. Why is he killing? That is another point of discussion. But he has to fight, he has to kill. Is that not a fact? It is a fact. That means if every Kshatriya who is killing, by nature the dharma of Kshatriya is to fight to maintain the kingdom. That means he has to fight. That means does all this Kshatriya will eternally go to hell? It looks like that. That means if I kill these people, that means what is your dharma? Is to kill people? Yes, you need to kill. But if you kill people, you'll go to hell. Kill hell. But what is the dharma of a Kshatriya? Is to fight and protect. That means if he kills, he goes to hell. If he fights and protects, he's protecting the kingdom. That means to protect kingdom, he has to go to hell. That means what kind of dharma is that? Is there no exception for that? They have exceptions for that. Arjuna is not addressing that. Now another important aspect. Why is Arjuna not addressing that? That question should also come. Why Arjuna is not addressing that aspect? Because he has attached. This is exactly happening in our life. Why am I telling this way? This core thing is happening in our life. We come to the process, we understand the process, but we don't take the process fully. Because of what? Because of our attachment. Period. including my own self. We should be more connected. We should understand why this attachment is coming. Why am I in this state? If I see a if I see a person, why heart is not responding the right way? Why we have negative feelings to the other person? Why are we eager to discuss the negative feelings of the other person? I'll tell something very interesting. Purandar Das is an exalted Vaishnava Acharya. He has a poem. In that poem, he's telling he is glorifying the persons who actually put him down. That means who chastise him, who speak ill about him, who does backbiting behind him, who always proclaim that whatever he does, it's all bad. Right? Now, what Purandar Maharaj is doing? Purandar Maharaj is telling, I appreciate all of you. My deepest gratitude to all of you. Who does all of them? That all of them are the personalities who are actually offending him. Now, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? Why is he behaving like that? There is a He's an exalted Vaishnava Acharya. He knows everything. Every nitty-gritty details in the scriptures. And then now he's telling, oh, you are all putting me down. That is good. Thank you. Why? Because whoever is putting us down, please understand, they are taking our sinful reactions. For example, we have sinful activities. Whoever is putting us down, they're actually taking that share. So your sins, they're taking that share. From that means they are actually helping you. That is why Purandar Maharaj is actually respecting them. That is why Purandar Maharaj is being very grateful to them. Now on the other side, whoever appreciates you, whoever respects you, whoever glorifies you, they are actually becoming part of your pious activities. They get the share of that because they genuinely appreciating you. Now this thing is quite normal in the devotee circle. Both the things. Genuine appreciation is normal, and also putting the other person is down is also normal. That means what is happening? They are taking both the credits. That means if a person is genuinely appreciating, he'll get the bias. If a person is not genuinely appreciating rather than is putting the other person down, he'll get the negative credits. Now what is that doing? What is that helping for him? You know what is the result is. So why am I telling this is we hear about this that we shouldn't find faults. We should be very nice. We should see, we should appreciate the devotees. We should be, if shortly you cannot appreciate, should be neutral. And also, we shouldn't have this attitude, oh, if I appreciate, I'll get punya. They are not there for that. Also. Please understand. And obviously, we will not find faults or put them down. That is the other thing also. Unnecessarily, there's a loose tongue. We immediately, oh, this Prabhu is not nice. This Mataji is not nice. She is not nice. He is not nice. What is happening? Knowingly or unknowingly, they're taking their sinful reactions. Why? We already have sinful reactions. Why do we want other sinful reactions? Why do we want? Now, there is third category who are actually devoid from this. Our acharyas, spiritual master. What they do is they chastise us. They know this, but they chastise us. That means they'll get simple reactions from it. They accept them. Why? For the well-being of the other. Do you think they will get the reactions? Actually, they will not get. They will not get reactions because they are doing it for a higher purpose. Because their intention is different. Their intention is not to put them down. Their intention is to uplift the other person. Please understand. A person can chastise the other person for two reasons. Want to put them down. Every person who has envy to the other person, they want to put them down. As simple as that. Period. Any person who has envy to the other person, will obviously put him down. When he puts him down, what happens? He gets that higher thing. That because he is the aggressor, na? The other person is putting the other person down. But what is he now? He's aggressor. But the moment he puts him down, what is happening? He's incurring his sinful reactions. No, this foolish person, he doesn't know. Even he knows he doesn't want to apply that because he cannot control his tongue. Because he cannot control. Why is he unable to control his tongue? Because he's he's a victim of sense gratification. As a person is a victim of sense gratification, due to that reason he cannot control his tongue. Through that, the tongue is loosely used because the tongue is not used for Krishna Katana. The tongue is not used to discuss the glories of the Lord, or to remember, to chant the glories of the Lord, to chant the transcendental holiness of the Lord. The tongue is not used for that. Then obviously what will happen? The tongue will be used for this purpose. What is that purpose? Putting the other person down. But the third category which I was mentioning, our Acharyas, that is, they also put us down through the Shastras, through their Vani. But that putting us down is beneficial for us because they are doing it to elevate our consciousness. Why? Because if we are elevated, we will not put the other person down. Why will we put the other person down? Because we are already down. If I feel that I'm already down, do I pull the other person down? Arey, we ourselves, we are in that state. How can we pull the other person? But the aggressor will not think. How? Because due to Rajoguna. How is Arjuna proclaiming himself here that he's acting on a selfless plan? Because he doesn't want property. He doesn't want all of those things. Yes, on when we see that from that perspective, yes, definitely he is. He's selfless. But what is the core reason of his selflessness? This is what we need to actually grasp here. What is the core reason of that selflessness, dear devotees? Because he is not doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. As simple as that. Period. Please understand, dear devotees, this is actually bhakti. Nobody understands this actually. Everyone wants to try to attain the jnana from this, but they don't want to aspire to the bhakti aspect from this. Dear devotees, jnana, to cultivate jnana, if you sit every day for half an hour, you can cultivate some jnana. But we are not looking for jnana. We are looking for bhakti. What is that bhakti? Doing it for the pleasure of the other person. Krishna, his followers. That is bhakti. Arjuna was not doing for him. Arjuna was not quitting his kingdom for Krishna. Arjuna is not quitting or leaving the battlefield because Krishna told him to do. No, he's not doing any of those things for the pleasure of the Lord. Rather, he's doing all of these things for his own well-being because he doesn't want to kill them because he has a relationship with them. That means if he doesn't have a relationship with them, is he ready to kill? Yes, he is ready to kill. That means Dharma is coming at that time, but Dharma is not coming now. Why is it like that? Why is it contradicting? Dear devotees, I'll tell another example. Let's say if you see a sannyasi or a brahmachari or a grihastha who is very exalted Vaishnava, we always think that, oh, this person, like this person, the person should be born in their family so that that person will give benefit to us. Do we ever think that that kind of a person should be born in our family? No, we don't think like that. Because if we begin to think like that, means this person doesn't have to study. This person doesn't have to become a big manager, big this, that, so many other things. That means what is happening? We don't want that sannyasi or that exalted Vaishnava Acharya be born in our family. Because if that person is born in our family, then he will not study. or even he studies, he will not do big job, or even he does job, he does it only for the pleasure of the Lord. He will not keep it for himself. Then what is the use of that? That's why everyone will proclaim, no, the person should be gone in the other person's family. Is this not an attachment? It's a deep attachment. That's why it is called as kunta. Because in kunta, what happens is we hold things here. Please understand. Kunta means misery. How misery is coming? By holding to the things. So when we begin holding to the things, what happens? Frustration. Let's say the frustration is not there today. We are thinking that there is no frustration, but who is confirming that there is no frustration? There is frustration in our life. It's so sad, the material nature is so sad that we don't even perceive that there is frustration in our life. Immediate reactions to the children, to the husband, not having any patience. Are these not the signs of frustration? They are the signs of frustration. People do not have good relations with each other because there is no patience to hear the other person. Is this not the sign of frustration? People drive 1 hour, 2 hour every day to work, but they don't have 10 minutes to speak to the other person. Is that not the sign of frustration? It is, but nobody proclaims that as a frustration. It's very clearly seen, but nobody understands that that is frustration. Everyone tries to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and then go back home back to Godhead. But they don't want to correct the consciousness. For example, we are chanting Hare Krishna, but the consciousness is not corrected. Do we think that the chanting of Hare Krishna will be helping us to go back home back to Godhead? No, because the consciousness is not yet corrected. Consciousness is not yet corrected means we are still in Nama Bhas state. Nama, aparad, forget about Nama Bhas. Nama Bhas is free from sinful reactions. That means consciousness is corrected. Namaparad is what? Doing chanting Hare Krishna and then also committing offenses. So here Arjuna is addressing his point, very important point. He's telling that scriptures are also telling this. Scriptures are telling not to fight, and Krishna, you are telling me to fight. What is this? Should I follow you or the scriptures? This is what exactly happens, right? Yudhishthira Maharaj, Krishna told Yudhishthira Maharaj, you speak lie. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, I cannot speak lie. Why? Because he is following the scriptures. No, this is only an example to teach us. Yudhishthira Maharaj is exalted, he's in a different state. Just to show us, see here, more important than scriptures is a person behind the scripture. Please understand. That means if the person is telling you, you speak lie, that means you have to speak lie. No, in the scriptures it is not being said, I should be Satyavadi. Yes, Krishna tells that also in Gita. You should be truthful. That same Krishna is telling you, you speak lie. Is it not contradicting? The person who is actually speaking, he wants us to do something else. Is it not contradicting? It is contradicting. Now, what is that contradicting leading us to? Because if you are simply looking through jnana, we will actually get bewildered here. Because then what happens? We begin actually offending Yudhishthira Maharaj. Arey, kya? Yudhishthira Maharaj is speaking lie. What's happening? Yudhishthira what is happening? You are speaking lie. You should be truthful. Satyavadina, you should be truthful. Why are you doing like this? Exactly. Kamsa, don't you think that Kamsa knows everything? Doesn't he know Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita? He knows everything. He knows that you're not this body but a powerful spirit soul. Vasudev is also explaining Kamsa at that moment when he heard that the eighth child will devour him. At that moment, he catch hold of the hair of Devaki Amma, Mother Devaki, when he's about to kill her with the sword immediately. Up until that point of time, he was like a gentleman. He was doing all right. Everything was great. Everyone were like appreciating Kamsa, oh Kamsa, you have so much love and affection towards your sister. Now the moment this we heard this, everything got changed. That means what was it before? That means what kind of relationship he had before? It's interesting because at one moment he gave everything. He gave horses, he gave maid servants, he gave cows, he gave so much gold. He personally is actually taking her from his place to Vasudev's place. In the middle of that, he hears his voice. That means what did he did up until that point of time? Because he gave up until that point of time for him only, for his pleasure only. Please understand this dear about it. Because he was exactly doing it for him only. And he is not in a position to correct also. Arjuna is doing also for him. Why Arjuna is doing it for him? Because he doesn't want to fight. Because he has family members. No, Krishna told him to fight, but still he doesn't want. Now Krishna is trying to address this by showing Arjuna's attachment. Likewise, Krishna will also show our attachment. But the problem is our attachments are so deep that we don't realize that Krishna is showing our attachment. And then he's asking us to come out of these attachments through the Vani, through Shravana. Krishna is asking us to come out of this, but we don't care. Why? Because we don't understand or realize that I have so many attachments in this world. Now, if I have attachments in this world, then please understand this dear devotees. Do we ever perceive or come to the pain of selflessness? Well, that's another question. Now, I'll tell something. Every person in our movement, they're trying to expand. Temples, 800,000, 20,000 temples. Great. How many are addressing the consciousness? You have Kama, you have Lova, you have Dvesha, Mada Matsarya. We have all of these things. Who is addressing this? How many of them are checking their heart? But should I behave like this? Should I act like this? Is this okay? No, Arjuna was bewildered. What about my state? Am I free from this bewilderment? Arjuna says that my mind cannot be controlled. Can I control my mind? How about this bodily conception? There's so many bodily conceptions here. So Prabhupada was continuously, repeatedly telling this again and again. And Srila Prabhupada is telling this continuously, and why am I not addressing this? Rather addressing this, why am I running behind the activities? Let me address this. Let me address this. Then I can run. Then I can become selfless. Then I can open 10 temples. But without addressing that, how can I do this? For example, let's say if I open up a temple also, what will I teach them? If I do not have that consciousness, what will I tell them? Do we ever think of it? Every person is actually preaching you should think about this. Because people are hearing from you. If you are not teaching them that, then what are you teaching them? You're just teaching some activities. Will that person be beneficial through that activities? He doesn't know with what consciousness he should do. What he will do. Let's say he has a Dharma Sankata situation. What he will do at that stage? Let's say his health is disaster. His health is gone. Whom? Where does he take shelter? Does he know what he should do? Proper health was also bad. Proper showed us what should be done. Everything is there here. What are we trying to do? Are we trying to address this? If I am in the selfish state, now Krishna is telling, Are your selflessness is also useless. Hare Krishna. So that we will discuss in the next chapter. Krishna is telling, oh, your so-called selflessness, you're telling you're selfless. No, that is also wrong, Arjuna. Because the so-called selflessness was only done for your purpose. That means, for example, it's very important here. For example, I'm chanting Hare Krishna. If I'm chanting Hare Krishna to show off to the other person, that means with what consciousness I'm doing this? That means, am I really chanting Hare Krishna or am I doing something else? Am I chanting Hare Krishna to become a devotee or am I chanting Hare Krishna to show to the other person? If the mind is telling, see, that person is coming, chant sincerely, mind will tell you. When we begin hearing that and when we are chanting, we are trying to show the other person, but internally we are struggling in our heart. And again, mind will tell, oh, okay, the person is gone, now you can watch out. Nobody is there. That means, what are we doing? What are we doing? We are becoming the dance of mind. That's why Manas Shiksha is important. That means how the mind is reacting. Not just only in this way, mind will react in so many ways. To whom we should give gratitude? How should we lead our life? What should be our motivation? The driving factor of our life should be selflessness. That's why Prabhupada says, I give this one lifetime to the Lord. That means giving this one lifetime to Krishna means what? That means should I give my life just like that to Krishna? No, we should cultivate good qualities. तितिक्षवा करुणिका सुहृदस्वरदेहिना मजातशत्रुभाषान्ता साधवा साधुभूषणः. Beautiful qualities of a Vaishnava should cultivate. That quality should be offered to Srila Prabhupada as an offering. Then Srila Prabhupada will bless. Through that blessing, one will go to the spiritual. Without giving, without cultivating the consciousness, what will I give? This life to Krishna. Then how will I come to the state of Manasa Dega, Jo Kichmo, Arpika Go, for the Nanda Kishoro, my dear? Please help. This mind, the body, senses, intelligence, everything belongs to you. Please let me engage this in your service. Please give me good consciousness. I do not have consciousness. Please help. Your devotees are consciousness. Through their mercy only somehow I will relish this Krishna consciousness a little bit. How can I relish the honey if the honey bottle is not open? The honey bottle is closed. Should I, if I lick from outside, will I get the taste of honey? So the honey is very nectar. It's very beautiful, very tasteful. But we should open the lid. So if I stay in the selfish state, it's like licking the honey bottle from outside. The person becomes selfless. The Lord will open the gap. Then we can go inside and then dive into the bottle of and then continuously run. We go deep into that honey ocean and then relish Krishna Katha. Nectar. It is the nectar which we need to aspire. So Arjuna here is telling, by being saintly of a devotee of the Lord is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities. What kind of activities? Activities of not to fight. It's not a selfless plane. But through that selfless plane also, he's actually understanding that I am not happy in life. Now a question will come. Yesterday evening we were discussing about this. It's an interesting devotee went to our home expressing his problem. They are expressing their problem. They have a health issue which is going on in their life. And they're telling, and I was asking, are you happy? And after that I asked, do you know what happiness is? What is happiness? Now, if I do some sense gratification or if I watch a movie, I'll get some happiness. Who said I'll not get happy? Real. That's why what is happening, this becomes an itch. Itch. What is an itch? If you scratch on the itch, the itch becomes red and then the rash increases. But the mind and the senses say that you have to itch. What is the mind and senses telling? There is an itch on there is a rash on the leg. The mind and the senses are telling they're actually the fingers are moving to the leg to scratch that itch. When I begin scratching that itch, what happens? The rash increases. Is it benefiting? But while scratching, I'm getting some happiness. Am I not getting happiness? I am getting happiness. I'm feeling relieved because there is an itch. I'm scratching. I'm getting relief. But after some time, if I begin continuously doing that, it becomes red. What happened? That intensified. Now it's a more problem. Just now you are happy, but that happiness is leading to what? Another misery. So the happiness which you are pursuing in this world is that kind of happiness. I told this is not that happiness which I am asking. Are you happy because your health is not good? Are you really happy because your health is not good? If yes, how are you? Dear devotees, if your health is not good, do you ever feel the presence of the Lord? If you feel the presence of the Lord, then you will be happy. But it is difficult to feel the presence of the Lord. This is where the whole trouble, na? If you see Pandava's life, there's so many troubles. Did we see they had physical problems also? Yes. Is it easy? Is it easy to stay in the forest, dear devotees? There's nothing to eat. Is it easy? No. Is it not? Are they not facing difficulties? But did they ever complain? Or did they settle that this is a permanent happiness? No, none of those things were there. Then a difficult condition is coming in our life, means how are we taking that? And more spiritual telling, and it's very beautiful. The self-realized souls. It's a very interesting aspect. A difficulty is coming in our life to take more shelter. A difficulty is coming in our life to welcome the presence of the Lord. A difficulty is coming in our life to actually see His presence in that difficulty. That means the difficulty will no longer become a difficulty, but the difficulty becomes pure Krishna conscious. Because through that difficulty, you are actually remembering them. That means the itch is there, but I'm not scratching. Because my intelligence is telling, if I scratch, the rash will become more. I will not do this now. I'll simply tolerate that. And even more than that is I accept that as a blessing of the Lord. Because my karmic reactions are very sinful. I'm a very sinful person. I should receive more sinful. I should receive more sinful reactions. But my Lord is very merciful. He's just asking me to tolerate that. Whereas his body itself is temporary. But he wants us to learn beautiful lessons through his body. So let me just tolerate that. And then the rest gone. Because you're not scratching. Because the body will do the self-healing internally. Gone. That means I have the problem, but I'm not reacting to the problem. Rather, what am I doing? I'm actually accepting the problem. Dear devotees, it is not easy. I'm telling this, but it is not easy. I'm again telling why it is not easy, because a person has to be fully convinced to accept into that state, to come into that state. Please understand that. It's very important. Otherwise, it will not. Otherwise, it cannot be perceived. We go through so many problems. Arjuna went through problems. Arjuna is in a selfless. He doesn't want money also. Still, he is having a problem. Now, a person like Arjuna is not looking for money, name, fame, profit, adoration. He is also having problems. But if a person is actually looking for all of these things, can he come out of these problems? Or can he become Krishna conscious? This is the point. Because he cannot come out of that, and simultaneously he cannot accept the process. But he is using it and also trying to practice. Is that helping? That will not help. On a Purna, Purna means complete. On a complete level, it will not help. On a surface level, it will help. To show others, it will help, but not to realize. That means I can repeat these words. I wanted to think about this more. That means what is that? I can repeat the words of Srila Prabhupada, but if I am not following, that repetition of words will not convince me. Just like the scratching of the itch is there. My intelligence is telling if I scratch, the rash will increase. But my senses and mind are dominating that intelligence. Then what happens? Just through the overwhelming powering or complete absorption of the senses and the mind, this body becomes the das of that, and then it will go. Then he knows he will suffer also, but he will scratch it because he cannot do. This is a deadlock situation. These deadlock situations are there for every jiva in this world. Now you tell me, is this not a central zone? Is this material world not a central zone? Anything you do, you get a reaction. There's a mosquito. You did like this. Reaction. The mosquito is dead. There's no mosquito in this room. You do like this. It's gone. Anyhow, it will die in one day. Why are you killing it right now? No, the mosquito will eat my blood. How much blood it will eat? Very little. What will happen if she eats little blood? Arey, this is an example. This is important because anything which we do in this world, we get a reaction to that. For example, you are driving the car. You see so many, mosquitoes or flies will hit the windshield and then they die. So who is responsible for that? Currently, we are responsible for that if we accept it or not. That's what Arjuna is telling. If I kill all these personalities, I am responsible. Krishna, who will protect me? Because I'll get the sins. I have to go to hell. This is a very valid point. You should ask this question. I'm driving the car. All these mosquitoes are dying. Who is responsible for that? For that, who has to suffer? I have to suffer. So what is the solution for this? Whoever is asking that thing, he becomes a guru. I was sharing this to my father. He's telling me, Nana, the science of Krishna consciousness is beautiful. But the thing is, only if you follow it is beautiful. Why? Only when if we follow it is beautiful? Because we know we should not commit, we should not find faults in others. But through Rajoguna, we find faults. But whoever is tolerating that and then he remains to stay in Sattva, that means he's taking more Sattva. That means internally he doesn't have any enmity to anyone. Externally is not showing manifesting. Because internally if he has, externally it will come. Because internally he doesn't have anything. So external there is no manifestation. Internally he has good. Externally good will come. But internally if you are meditating for their faults, then we will do. Then we will find fault. That means the moment we are finding faults, we are actually accepting the sin for the actions. Then I said whoever tolerates or accepts that state and then doesn't react in that way, he becomes a being. It's up to us in which way we want to aspire. If you want to aspire in this state, then you will become a devotee. That's why we don't proclaim ourselves as a devotee, because devotee was always working internally. Dear devotee, if you are appearing for an exam, you study for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, at the max 1 year. Let's say you are doing engineering entrance exam, or you're writing GRE topic. You study. You study in third year of your engineering. You go to the training center. You prepare for 1 year. You give mock test. Then you appear for the final exam. Then you crack the exam. You get the I-20. Then you go. That means you are done. Your business is done for that. But this is not like that. This is a continuous process. That means if I'm not working, I'll go into the material nature. As simple as that. Please understand. If you're not hearing, for example, if you're not hearing for a week sincerely, that means you are in the material plane. If you're not chanting Hare Krishna sincerely, that means you are in the material plane. If you're not eating Krishna Prasad, that means you're in the material plane. That means what should I do? If I have to do this continuously, I need to know how to do this continuously. And I need to know why to do this continuously. That scratch of the itch, I need to realize myself that my intelligence should be short, sharp. But if I scratch this, I should actually see the complete picture. It means I should see the future of that. That's why Vaishnava will actually see the future. When we see the future, then we stop doing committing the mistake. Our intelligence should be that deep. And then through that intelligence, we should remember the person who gave this. Srila Prabhupada, his followers, to remember our story. Then what happens? Then we get that Shakti to do that. To do what? Not committing that. That means at what level we need to take them? At the heart level. There is no exception for this. There is no exception. Arjuna will take this at the heart level. That's why he fought. Their devotees, just think about this. The sloka is not yet there, but I'm going to tell. Mamanusmara Yudhyacha. That means what Arjuna is doing? Arjuna is actually thinking or remembering the Lord while fighting also. That means there's a life and death situation also he is remembering that. That means what deep his remembrance is. Vidura, when Krishna came, Vidura was so absorbed in that he didn't find the difference between banana and banana peel. He was so absorbed seeing the Lord. He was so absorbed in exchanging the discussions with the Lord, interchanging, discussing, the feeling their heart. And he is expressing his feeling from the heart. Vidura, and Krishna is responding to that feeling. How deep that connection is. And then through that connection, through that reciprocation, he didn't find the difference between banana and the banana peel. And then Krishna also he didn't find any difference. Krishna started eating banana peel, just like he's eating. That means even at that moment, Krishna is also not acting. Please understand the what is. It's not like, oh, Krishna knows that this is banana peel. Or that Vidura also knows that this is banana peel. Just to hook up the story, they're doing like this. No. Both have no idea what's happening. They're so much absorbed in that. This is bhakti, Bhape. They devote it. This is bhakti. Please understand. Bhakti is absorption. Our consciousness has to be absorbed in that realm. We should be in that realm. We should be kept in that state. How can I perceive that? No, Arjuna, if you actually see this statement is actually speaking from his heart only. He's very sincere in his words. That's why we are discussing about him. We're actually taking association of Arjuna, the Vimarsha of the Kirtanashram. We're trying to see the selflessness which he is actually explaining here. And we compare that to us. What's the point of discussion? What's the point of Guru Sadhu Shastra? Compare all of this things to us. What am I doing? How much selfless I am? How is my life doing? Let's say if I die tomorrow, will I go back home back to body? Did I cultivated all those things? Did I establish my consciousness like that? Do we think that we will receive the mercy of the Lord? What did I do to receive the mercy of the Lord? These are all the questions which we need to ask. Because we don't know when the death will come. Do we have a guarantee? Dear devotees, we don't think about this problem, but rather what happens is we think about so many other things in this world. Will that help? It will never help. Those things will never help. Because the consciousness is so different. If that is different, then How can we pursue the truth? There's no question to pursue the truth also. So this is very important. Please understand this. I'll stop here to see if anyone has anything to add, any sharing, any reflections. You aspire for this selfless state. This is pleasing the Lord so much. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Prana. These are everything. If these are everything means, if you really realize that, it's easy to come to the plane of selflessness. We don't realize that he's everything. That's our acharyas are everything for us. Don't escape it. We have to realize that. Anyway, anything to be added, to be shared? There was some stopping.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, then Nama all rest is Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, every day, inspiring us how Arjuna is in confusion on an everyday basis. Uh, at least I am in confusion. As you rightly said, Prabhuji, that flies dashing into the I was traveling and there was not one fly. It was like hundreds of them. They were covering the whole windshield, and of course, I had to turn on the wipers. So I was feeling the same question, what you mentioned, uh, like how we are responsible, but at the same time, we are doing our duty. And of course, sometimes going to the temple, coming back. So these kind of questions pop up on a daily basis, and you cleared all of them today wonderfully, Prabji. We have to do our duty, and of course, follow Lord Krishna's guidance, Guru Sadhu Shastra. Thank you so much, Prabji. Hare Krishna.
So important actually. When we ask that, then it will really help us. It will give us the process to reflect our consciousness. And we will genuinely strive to be honest. And then our duty, the only duty is honor pleasing the Lord, honor pleasing the acharyas, honor pleasing the scriptures. Are they happy with this duty? Am I working for them? If I'm working for them, then anything which we do will not be karma bandhana. But all of those things will lead to Krishna consciousness. Am I doing that? That is the question which we get. And then slowly, we should strive to begin to work for the Lord, work for His happiness. So that's what we need to strive. So important actually. Pray. Thank you for
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. Prabhuji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you so very much. Prabhuji, as Shubhabu also mentioned, there would be a lot, not just the big like tornadoes and then the cold, extreme cold and so forth, which we cannot control. These small things also, if we truly observe and contemplate, there would be many of these things which we cannot control at all. They just come on our way, and at that point, uh, if we really think deep, um, we would observe how much dependent, how insignificant we are, which where we cannot control. We are completely dependent. We're not at all independent, basically. And then through those situations, now that we hear and we get to know that okay, there is karma out of that also, though unknowingly. There is karma out of it also. So dependent, these situations are basically given to us to depend more, thinking at that point, thinking about the Lord, remembering the Lord, and asking for forgiveness on the position that I am in, and chanting Mahamantra and no, please forgive for this, for this situation. Which helpless, right, Prabhu? While going to temple, if that happens, we have to go to temple. A lot of examples that you have given, they are completely practical, which we cannot avoid. But if, we will get karma out of it also. And you have beautifully said that spiritual master, at times, uh, in the class, they have to. It sounds like chastising, yes, but someone has to tell. Otherwise, how would the jiva know? With that, they would get karma, but they are ready to take that karma to for the benefit of the listener. So, and and as you said, sometimes they won't get the karma also, because it depends on the listener also, right, Prabhuji? So, utterly dependent, Prabhu. uh, and that realization that we have to depend also will come only through Shravana. That's for sure. Otherwise, without hearing, we'll, I would think like, okay, pride basically, illusion and pride. Yeah,
Actually,
that's
entire life,
true.
entire life is in the illusory state. People strive to come out of it because if the conditioned soul is being told that you are conditioned, the conditioned soul will not accept it. So we think that is not conditioned. That itself is an indication that is conditioned. Not in a position to understand, to hear religion. This is in a different state. Even Duryodhana, you've seen the Lord, Lord's universal form, you've seen everything. He doesn't accept. See the pathetic condition, pathetic state. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they've seen Lord Chaitanya, they don't. The thing that is a sadhu, don't accept. How pathetic condition is that? Nityananda Prabhu is ready to extend so much. The other person cannot understand. Again, they couldn't understand why this person is extending so much. I was thinking that they started hating him, but still is extending himself. Actually, conditioning is what they don't understand. It's a problem actually. When the conditioning is so deep, then is there a shelter or a hope from coming to the state of selfish to selfish? It's difficult. And for Arjuna also it's difficult. What to speak of us? Which I should think actually. For Arjuna it's difficult. What about us? Very difficult.
Mm.
It means, is there any other way? No, this is the only way. We should actually accept the urge as is and then come to that state. When that state comes, when the person has wish, then he can actually control that itch. Because what is happening?
Prabhuji, I think we lost your voice. Cannot hear you, Prabhu.
So I need to understand them. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me now?
Now, yes, Prabhuji.
You can hear me now?
Yes, Prabhuji, now, yes.
So that thing has to be understood. So when we understand that, then our state will be beautiful. So sadhaka should always strive. At least 1% comes to the plane of selflessness. So much he can do, so much service. But it's difficult. Everyone has their own responsibility. It's difficult. This is karma bandhana. To work for Krishna, to work for the acharyas, to lead the life for their happiness, not easy, difficult, but we should try. IIT, IIT is difficult for everyone. Only few devotees, few person will get the seat. IIT is difficult. That doesn't mean that nobody's trying. They try. So we try. But it's simple, but not easy. We should try. We should try. We should strive to cultivate that consciousness. It's like how Arjuna is developing. We should develop like that. First, we should become sincere, like Srila Prabhupada and his followers. We should strive in their footsteps. We should beg for their mercy. Otherwise, how can we come out of this shackle of birth, death, old age, disease? Maybe tell me, is there any other way? No, there's no other way. This is the only way. Hare Krishna. We're almost at the end of chapter 1. Oh, finally, we're almost at the end. Wonderful. Thank you for the association. Anyone else would like to add or shall we stop it? Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhu, one question, maybe. So I always get this thought when we speak to the dependents. Few things we cannot control, as the examples that we discussed earlier, while going to the temple, unexpected things and so forth. But our dependents, when they rely on us and we aspire to give them the best, at times where, so the same examples where when we have to get ready for the temple and it's getting time, we tell them couple of times, but as per the state of their consciousness at that time, they wouldn't sometimes. So three times, four times, yes, we shouldn't be frustrated. It's their consciousness at that point. They might be thinking about something else, homework or whatever it is. But slowly it leads to frustration. So yes, we are still, we get the voice of the spiritual master. No, I shouldn't be, because if we go deep and then as we hear, we are taking their karma, everything will be remembered. But end of the day, after 4 times where there is a task which should be done, though we remind them an hour ago, and then it reduces to half hour, reduces to 15 minutes. How much? Yes, we know we have to control patience. Is it the right way? Should we still, what should be the thought process at that point, bro?
Actually, at times it is very important to tell the child, even though if you are speaking loudly, that doesn't mean that we are losing our frustration. We are speaking loudly for his benefit. That doesn't mean that we speak loudly at every moment, thinking that that is benefiting the other person. We should also understand if it is coming from our false ego, it is really coming from the true ego. So Prabhupada also, when he was going through a difficulty, his father was mentioning, see, I am punishing you because you are committing this mistake. I am telling you so that you teach or you learn from this. That's what you should tell, and then you need to bring out of it. So more important when we develop good relationship with them, what happens is even if we chastise, they will accept. And the relationship has to be developed. But chastisement, they still and they'll understand, oh, this chastisement is for my benefit. This is not my mother is whimsically she's beating me. No, she's doing this for my benefit. They have to realize that. I think we have to make them realize this. When we make them realize this, then they will accept that. That's what Pandavas realized, that everything is happening by the mercy of the Lord. That's the reason why they were not envious towards the Lord. The people of this world, so-called intelligence, they become envious to the Lord only. They become against Him because they have difficulty in their life. So likewise, when the children are given good relation, to spend time with them nicely, they will hear. When they are nice, you need to take the situation. My daughter sometimes she doesn't listen. While she's sleeping, she doesn't listen. So when I take one-on-one in the sense when we are alone, then I talk to her nicely, and slowly I will tell. Slowly, when we begin telling them, then they will understand. They might not understand the glories the of coming to Mangalarti, but slowly, tell them, understand. So it again depends what your aspirations are. If your aspirations are something else other than Krishna consciousness, it will come to us as a boomerang.
Mm.
So it all depends on what you are aspiring. Very important. Is that okay, Amma?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah. So our intention is correct. We have to go to the temple at that minute, and then we did remind.
To the temple is right. That intention is right. But are we giving them? Are they convinced that they have to go to the temple?
Mm.
For that we need to give. They should be convinced. Right? Go to the temple. They are adults now. They're not children anymore.
Yes,
They can't that. So we should help them realize that
yes, Prabhu.
they are hearing every day. And then realize. And they'll come to the state. So it's important. So yes, temple. They'll prioritize. They're well prioritized for that. So we should provide those facilities if they are prioritizing.
Yes, Prabhu. Also, the we always hear this, right, Prabhu? The connection, the relation that we have with the spiritual master, if that is strong, if the top is strong, then the dependence would automatically that magic would be automatically be available
Exactly.
for us. Krishna will make it.
Let's say the relation, if that is not happening also, we continue doing that, right? We understand whatever is best Krishna will give.
Mm.
Today or tomorrow they'll hear, today or tomorrow they'll come, today or tomorrow then they will change, today or tomorrow. If I change more, then they will also change.
Mm.
Those things will come. Krishna is putting the situation, he's trying to help me. What should I learn through the situation? How should I come through the situation? He's not listening, what should I do from my side? It's a journey, it should go internally. Prayer should come. Dependency practically in our life it should come. If you are fully focusing 24 hours on this, then it will come. The the only thing is that the focus is half and half or 25-75. That's what the problem is. You see, Arjuna's focus is fully focused. He doesn't want to fight. Why? Because his family. We want to do, but our full focus is not towards this. If we leave these materialistic things and our complete focus is to spiritual activities, then it will happen. We should leave from, we should see in our heart what are the things which I'm doing in my life which are troubling me to practice Krishna consciousness. Let me stop all of those nonsense. I'm just telling, we should check our heart. When we see, then we will understand, oh, this is not required. This is not required. I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do that. Unnecessary browsing is not good. Taking into the YouTube or doing that is not good. So we should do that, and the rest we should avoid. And then, when we are completely sincere, then when you tell a word, then they will hear. So I've seen practical in my life. If you are very sincere, they will hear. If they are not sincere, then you become more sincere. They will hear. If we are not, if that is also not working, we should become more sincere. To desire for that. You cannot avoid that. Cannot avoid them because you cannot run away from the responsibility. It's like an impersonalist, you will run away from the responsibility. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. So everything is useless here. Let me go away from this. Wife is useless, children are useless. So doesn't matter. But for the devotee, it's not like that. It is a service for us to the acharyas, to the Lord, through them. That is my service. That's my responsibility, and I should do this. Otherwise, why I should become a father and a mother? It's our responsibility. Should actually do that in a right way. Then it makes sense. We're not going anywhere. Rather, we're trying to fix all of them. Hare.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so very much. Hare Krishna.
All those situations are good for us. They help us to become more Krishna conscious. How a person will become 24 hours Krishna conscious? Like this only. So you see in all situations in alliance with the Lord. There is a loss, that's good. Somebody has stolen the money, that's good.
Hmm.
So everything, we learn lessons through everything. There's a gain, that's good, I gave it back to Krishna. There's a loss, thank you, Krishna. That means, this is why I see, even in the 50%, that also belongs to the Lord. The Lord has kept that 50 with me. This is how I see. 50 is used in the service. 50, Lord has kept it to me. Now through that 50, that is also Lord's money only. That means that is, I am just a person. Krishna has kept it here. He gave intelligence of Nitya. Through that 50, that also belongs to the Lord. Just using any profit, any gain, everything belongs to the Lord. I was just thinking about this in the morning, that's why it's coming. So we should to understand our situation. They all help us to become Krishna conscious. Oh, thank you. I think we'll stop here. A little late. Thank you all very much. For causing inconvenience, please excuse. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, right? Tomorrow we'll have a little shorter session. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, all devotees.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Shilas Prabhuji, would like to continue.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. जय हो पाद परमाम सप्रवजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शताब्दी चरणारविंद His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई की जय। यमुना माई की जय। भक्ति देवी की जय। तुलसी देवी की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, have an amazing Krishna conscious Friday. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
शिलास प्रभु जी की जय, सुशील माता जी की जय, रामानंद प्रभु की जय, माता जी की जय, ऑल डिवोटीज की जय. थैंक यू प्रभु जी. हरे कृष्णा.
Hare Krishna, Sabala Gopal Prabhuji ki jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
All devotees Hare Krishna.